All right, hello everybody. We're calling to order this meeting of the DEIB committee on March 24th, 2026. We are going to skip item B, which is approval of meeting minutes. We're going to postpone that for our next meeting. And we're going to open it up for public comment. So we are joined by a member of the public, Sam, today. So Sam, welcome.
Public. Wow, that's a big title. No, I have nothing special to say. I just want to see what you're up to and see if I can offer any advice or insights or comments once you get started.
Sounds good. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
All right, so moving on to new business. So the first item of business is our upcoming town council presentation. So Josh had reached out to me in February, I think, about doing the presentation for the town council in early March. And given that we have not had a chance to talk about the presentation other than the very first time that we talked about it, I told him that we couldn't do it that quickly. So I guess what I'm gonna do is I'll share my screen and show what I have for this, and you guys can help me fill in the gaps. Does that sound good?
Cool beans.
All right, so the first thing that I need from everybody is what you want me to say up in this like page with our committee members. And do you want me to do pictures for everybody or not?
Whatever your preference is,
I like
whatever you think
pictures.
will best convey the message.
Okay. Um, So, one thing that I'll do then is after this meeting, I'll ask Josh, I'll ask all of you to send a picture of yourself to Josh. And then once I get those from Josh, I'll add them to the presentation. Okay, Jean, I wrote this for you. I don't know if this feels accurate, if you want me to say anything else.
It's perfectly fine as it is, and we can add that I'm also a special education paraprofessional too. Doing that 2030 grind. Yay.
Yay. When Phil comes back, I'll ask him what he wants me to say for his description. Uh, there's a member of our committee who has not come to a meeting in a very long time. I'm guessing it's probably not worth including that person on this list, but open to other feedback.
Your logic is sound.
Okay. All right, I'll fix the spacing on this later. Okay, so Phil, for a quick little short bio, what would you like me to say about you?
I would say I look for opportunities to volunteer where I can, and mostly in the areas of education. I have gone in and done some gratifying work for both myself and in the communities and the schools that I served and hope to continue to serve in that manner. And that's my niche right now and what I enjoy the most.
Does that seem accurate?
For me, yeah, I would say so. If I were to add anything else in June, I hope to be teaching in New York City,
Mm.
blind kids for the entire month of June. I come home on the weekends, and everything goes well. I'll be doing that, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Very
Super
cool.
cool. Congratulations.
Well, we'll see. I hope it works out. It's a
Well,
matter of timing.
I'm sending positive vibes. I think it's so
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so the next slide is about kind of the history of the committee. So the town council voted in 2022 to establish the DEIB committee. We serve in an advisory capacity for the town manager. We have a we're working from a 2021 recommendation report from the ad hoc DEI committee that outlines recommendations and possible goals for this committee. And at that time, DICE, BCCR, and faculty at BSU conducted surveys of town residents. And then the next slides are some summaries of some of the most striking findings from those surveys. So, for example, this one about whether respondents have ever witnessed identity-based mistreatment, and the majority of people had said yes. How inclusive do you find the BR community? Most people had said not particularly inclusive. This one about the most prevalent experiences and stories of identity-based discrimination. The most common response was about race and ethnicity. A couple of quotes specifically related to that about what people said. And then how satisfied are respondents with town and school officials on addressing these issues? Majority not satisfied. And then a kind of quick list of some of the community asks from that 2021 survey. So formally recognizing injustices when they occur, specific measures for accountability, implementing anti-bias community policing, updating town and school district websites, and conducting third-party annual equity audits. So this is kind of setting the scene for why our committee exists and that there is a need for us to have this committee. And then this is a quick list of our strategic goals that we had agreed upon in previous meetings. So increase, it is again partially based on that 2021 report. So increased representation of historically excluded populations, conducting an annual equity audit, conducting annual equity audits of town policies and procedures, leading community education campaigns to engage town residents, and facilitating collaboration between citizens and town government. And of course, these are very lofty goals, so as a new committee, we are kind of taking it one step at a time to ultimately be able to meet these goals. So in that light, our current priorities and goals are creating this town belonging survey that we're working on, potentially collaborating with BCCR to host a belonging forum. I'm not really sure why I wrote this TBD update on here, but if there's anything else we want to add. But if not, I'll just add some more detail about like where we stand in terms of what we're doing so far. And then I was just gonna say thanks. I've never done a presentation like this for the town council, so I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea if this is what they're looking for, and I kind of wish Josh were still here, but oh well.
Everything's on point so far. You're very clear and to the point.
Thank you.
I'm just
Agreed.
hoping, yeah, I'm just hoping that if it's possible, you can send us this slideshow or send it to Josh and Josh will distribute it out to us via email.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Share a little bit of the history, Ashley, that I shared with you when we had our coffee,
Yeah, great.
because I think it will help help you figure out how this presentation will fit into the sequence of activities that are coming up. Most of you know, I think, that we meaning the Bridgewater Communities for Civil Rights, has arranged for the town to fly the pride flag for 2 weeks in June, and the Juneteenth flag for the second 2 weeks in June. And we've done the pride flag for 5 years. This will be the 6th. And the Juneteenth, this will be the 5th. We are in the process right now of petitioning or developing a resolution for both of those things to happen again this spring. Last year, we got into a big tizzy, as some of you are may be aware of, because the first few years we flew the flag right in front of the Academy building underneath the American flag. And a year ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years now, when the new veterans agent came on board and noticed that we were not flying the POW flag, he made it his goal to get that flag up there, as most towns do. They have the POW flag flying below the American flag. And it's usually, I think it's a federal law that it be flown in front of federal buildings. I'm not sure what the state law is exactly. I just lost you guys here for a minute. There you are. But at any rate, when they decided that, they did not want that POW flag to be removed. And we at BCCR did not want our flags to be the third flag on the pole. because if the flags have to go to half-mast, the third flag would be on the ground. So we did a lot of fussing about it last year. And you may remember there was some talk about putting up 3 flagpoles and new ones, American flag, state flag, and the town flag, and then the Juneteenth and the pride flag could fly on the town flagpole. Well, that never happened because it was too expensive and fundraising efforts went by the boards. So last year, with the support of the interim town manager last year, we flew the flag at the library. And we had our flag raising ceremonies there, and it worked out quite well. So we are expecting that that will probably happen again. We're asking that the flags be raised. We have full support of the library. What we are still asking, though, is for the town council to bless us, so to speak, to approve and pass the resolution, which says, whereas, we're going to fly the pride flag to recognize a welcoming atmosphere. Same thing for Juneteenth. There are a number of counselors, 3 or 4 of them, who pushed back no matter what. They do not believe in DEI. They do not believe in wokeness. And that's some of the language they've used. So we're a little apprehensive about how this is going to go down in the next few weeks, because I think the first resolution will be on the agenda April 7th, which is the next council meeting. They have to have it ahead of time because the first reading happens and then they have to put it off for 2 weeks before they vote. And Paul Murphy, who's one of the counselors who's also running for re-election, is going to be the person who's introducing the resolutions. So that provides a little backdrop for whenever you folks decide to do a presentation, because we're going to get a little better sense now of where this council is at with regard to DEI and whether they're willing to support the flying of the flags. Now, they may be more willing because there won't be a fight about putting it in front of the Academy building. But we're hoping that even if they philosophically maybe disagree, that they would still come up with a unanimous vote to support it. That would be the best scenario. So the bottom line is we're a little uncertain about how that's going to come down, which in a separate sense affects you folks appearing in front of them to talk about DEI. And another wrinkle in this is that we have the election coming up. And I know nothing really about the District 1 candidates, kind of which side of the political fence they're on. Jane, are you in District 1? Are you
Uh,
are you over
I
by or that way over?
I honestly don't know. I'm fine. I know
You
I
need to
should though.
know. Come
No,
on,
I
you need.
know. No, I always done a mail-in ballot, so I'm never like quite sure. I'm by the Raynham border. I'm by Axis Lake Shore. So if you know
Yes,
where
that's
that
District 1. You've
District
got
One,
three people
then I'm
running for
District
that
One.
seat. Yeah,
All right.
so you need to find out who
Like,
they are. And then
I
there'll
will
be
go
some.
bother them.
They're doing some. Actually, I think it's this week or next week. Each of them is having some kind of an open house, welcoming kind of thing. You should probably check them out. But if you
Will
go
do.
on the town website, you can get all their names and find out
Hmm.
who they are. And then I think Bridgewater Cable's going to do interviews with the candidates, so everybody will have a chance to talk. So not sure where the District 1 candidates are. Um, in the one position, there are 3 people running for 2 at-large councilors. Paul Murphy's running for re-election. Johnny Loretti, who is also District 1, but he's an at-large counselor. He's, I believe, on the Republican side of things, and he's the current president of the council. And then we have MJ Spagone running, who's a real loud, outspoken person who speaks at almost every council meeting, and she's on the finance committees and stuff. And I think she would certainly be in favor of the flag flyings. So there's that coming up. You've got an election which will slightly change the makeup of the council at the end of April. So in
Hmm.
terms of when you make your presentation, might be better to wait until the election's over when you have a new council and see who's on it. And also by then you might have a sense of whether there's going to be support for the flag flyings, because that's a lot of what your survey talks about. I mean, are we going to be welcoming or are we not? And the survey says we're not particularly welcoming, apparently. And they claim we are, but they don't vote for it. So that's just all the background that I think, might help you make a decision on when to do this and what to say. Because I was thinking about this today while I was in the car. That I think when and if you make the presentation, I think you'll have to come up with some really clear definitions of what DEI is, what it is supposed to be doing and is doing, and be able to fight back against this wokeism. This is woke. We don't need this. We don't need people getting any special dispensation. Everybody's equal and all that stuff. You know all the arguments they're going to throw at you. So you just have to be prepared for that to come back at them and say, no, these are the assets, the advantages, and so on. So, and all of your goals, I think, are part of the original goals was to take a look at what the town's doing, what different departments are doing. Are we being open enough? And be interesting to find out what the percentage of people of color is in the teaching, in the schools. Do we have representation from different peoples in education? Uh, Police department, I'm not sure we have any people of color on the police department. We do have a few women, but so all these things, you have to be prepared to speak to. So that's it for me, I guess.
Very insightful, though.
Thank you. Yeah, you kind of have to get a little bit of the pulse of what you might be up against. You're not going to be able
Absolutely.
to be everybody, oh yeah, great, let's go for it, do all that. I think the idea of another survey is probably a good thing because that's now a 5-year-old survey and it was targeted a little more at school populations and maybe something that's more general and um, clearly defines, how do you feel about being welcomed and belonging in Bridgewater is probably a good goal.
Yeah.
Mm,
Well spoken, Sam.
Thank you.
One of the things it's important for us to get at is to find a means by which we can, and this is not an overused term, but speak truth to power. You had touched upon, Sam, the disparities between
Yeah.
people of color, et cetera. Um, and it's chilling, especially, when you're having a great day and you don't let somebody ruin it because they open up their car door and, or window, roll down their window as they're passing by and call out a negative name
Yeah.
and just keep going. And as far as committees go, I think we need to stick a little bit with what we know to be the truth and going back to what you touched upon, the disparities in opportunity, the disparities in income, and there's always those standouts that, make a difference and they're doing okay, but there's the other side of the population. And even when it comes to gender bias and raising the pride flag, um, yeah, I think we can stand up a little bit more, and just make sure that we as a committee are imbuing amongst our peers and even those who are on the committee and those who are coming up for election to say, hey, how do you feel about this?
Yeah.
Here's what we want to do and why. I
That
don't
would be good.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'd say especially for all those kind of unknown District 1 people to find out where they stand.
Right. Um, one of one experience I had just coming on board is hearing, and I don't know what her name is, but she said flat out that there's no need for a DEIB committee. All God's children are created equal.
Ellenberg, Adeline Ellenberg.
So, and
Yeah,
that was for, that's not a neutral position.
nope.
So we can use all the help we can get in moving forward.
She's answered that way a couple of times when I've interacted with her. They never answer the question. She just says, "Oh, well, it's all about God's children or something." Well, answer the question, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyways, I think from where we started, we've made some progress.
yeah,
And the more we can reach out to those communities and come up with ideas in how to approach this, especially when we're presenting to the committee, will be helpful. I mean, people that have real life stories on both sides.
yeah.
The gender, the promote the flag and, to promote diversity and color in all other ways.
You know, when we have the ceremonies for the flag raisings, we typically have speakers from BR, from the university. I mean, we have people who are standing up and telling us how important it is for them to be recognized.
Nice.
So we have two or three high school kids usually. Sometimes we have their faculty leader of the Gender Alliance Club.
Yeah.
We've had speaker from the university,
Nice.
and the same thing for Juneteenth. We have people of color who represent how important it is for them to see this kind of ceremony. So, there are people out there, if we know the night that you're going to present, we could plant them in the audience and let them make some citizens' comments. Um, Another thing is that during the time when BCCR was looking into all this stuff, and we also had a subcommittee that I was on that was meeting with the police chief regularly. We have met with him for several years now. And among the pieces of information that we shared with him were about folks who worked for BAMSI in Brockton area multi-services, who were people of color, who did not want to work or drive through Bridgewater because
Mm,
they were being stopped,
mm,
randomly stopped by the police.
mm.
And the statistics, whoever interprets statistics can do it their own way, but almost always the statistics show that people of color, brown people are stopped more often, traffic stops still. Um, so that, there are people out there who can certainly speak to the fact that things are not always equitable and welcoming.
I'm not volunteering, but for me, it's been at least three times. And the most compelling time was when I had an officer follow me through the center of Bridgewater into my driveway.
Yeah.
And I got out of the car and he wanted me to prove by my license that I live there. And when I went to go reach in my pocket for my wallet, he shoved the end of his long flashlight in my gut
Hmm.
to keep me at a distance.
Yeah.
And
You're
I
not
let
the
it
only one
go.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Pardon me?
You're not the only one I've heard tell that same
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's been a couple of other times as well.
So I guess, the more real we can make the fact that there are issues that still need to be solved without harping on them. I mean, you don't want to make the whole meeting about, I know this and this person happened here.
Right. Right.
But they
It's
need to
just
know. They need to know that because
right.
those people on the council never experienced that. I've not
Right.
experienced it. So they need to know that people are experiencing that.
And they have the kids, even high school age kids,
Yeah,
to tell their story is compelling.
yeah,
You can't deny them, when you hear their stories. And when I speak like this, I'm talking about both, the DEI in inclusive of differently gendered people, gay people, everything. The pride flag, everything.
yeah.
So much fits under our umbrella.
You bet.
Mhm. Just
You know,
celebrating
but
the beauty of humanity.
That's
that's
right.
right. But again, you have
Got
those
it.
3 or 4 people on the council who parrot everything that Trump says. So you just have to keep coming back at them. So that's what you're up against anyway. It ain't easy.
Nice
A good
summary.
fight is never easy, though.
No, but
That's why it's
I'm
good.
glad I'm glad that there are 3 of you and hopefully Shirley 4 of you who are keeping this going. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, I took some notes. I'll make some changes to the presentation and then I'll send it to Josh to send around to everybody.
Cool.
All right. The
and
other thing,
again,
oh, go ahead.
I was going to say maybe target an early May date after the council's in office, the new council.
Yeah, sounds good. The only other thing that's on the agenda for today is next steps for the belonging survey, but I'm sensitive to time that it's 8:07 p.m., so I'm willing to either start that discussion now or table it for our next meeting.
Can
What are
you
people
just,
thinking?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, I was just saying, was asking what everybody's thinking.
Can you just give us a, a couple of sentences on how we should be looking at belonging? What does belonging mean?
In what context?
Just how we approach it.
Like
Like,
in
what
terms
does
of the
belonging
survey?
mean to you?
Yeah, or what diversity, equity, belonging. So is that for any particular group or just all together?
Phil, are you asking about in terms of the survey or in terms of the town council presentation?
No, I'm just talking about when you said we had an option to talk about belonging. Did I
Oh,
hear that right?
I see. I was saying that the belonging survey that we had been working on putting together, that was the next thing on the agenda, is to talk about what the next steps are for implementing that survey. But that it's 8:08 p.m., so I don't want to hold people too long if we'd rather table that for the next meeting.
Okay, so you're talking about just how to present the survey.
Right, yeah, what the next steps are
Yeah.
for where we're at with that
Okay.
survey,
All
yeah.
right. Yeah, just to
Yeah,
round
sorry,
it
Phil.
out.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, sorry that was unclear. So, I mean, what are we thinking? Do we want to talk about that now or save it for our next meeting?
I'm happy with whatever the majority lies.
Same.
Okay. All right.
Okay, well, in that
Why
case,
don't we table it?
yeah, I was gonna say since we don't have the meeting minutes from the last meeting where I assume that was probably discussed at least a little bit, let's go ahead and just table that for the next meeting.
Cool.
All right, awesome. So I don't think there's any old business, any additional items for discussion before we wrap up. All right, great. So let me see if I remember how to do this correctly. I can now entertain a motion to adjourn today's meeting.
A second to adjourn
Second,
the meeting.
Wait, you have to
third.
motion to adjourn it.
Oh, I motion.
Yeah, you motion. Okay. Phil, you want to second it?
I'll second that.
All right, good. I think as a chair, I'm technically not supposed to motion that. All right, excellent.
I
So,
got you.
all in favor of adjournment for the meeting?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. that concludes our meeting at 8:10 p.m. for the DEIB committee. Yes, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm tired.
Yes.
All right, so
Yes.
I will I will ask Josh to help us schedule the next meeting. What are we thinking? Like 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, something in that time range?
I'm okay with that. Let me look at a calendar. One, two, three. 3 weeks from now brings us to the 14th, and 4 weeks from now brings us to the 21st. My birthday, my bad.
Oh man. Well, if it's your
Oh
birthday,
yeah.
we should probably do the 14th so you don't have to spend
I'm fine with I got no birthday plans. It's just me, myself, and I. I do if whatever is easier, I do not care. I'm open for either day though. So
Let's shoot for the 14th if that works for Phil too, and then we'll see if that works for Josh.
okay.
Sound good?
I'm good with that.
All right. Okay, awesome. Go team. Thanks for joining, Sam. It's nice to see you.
Woo. Thank you for your lovely input too. Very, very informative. And for the work that you do too.
Everybody.
Oh, wait a minute, I missed that.
Didn't
All
miss
right, Jane,
anything.
who are you addressing that to?
Oh, I was just saying thank you to Sam for his wonderful insight and his
Oh,
participation because
yeah,
we needed the support and strength in numbers.
yes. It-
Yeah, you got to get
this,
Shirley involved. Doesn't show up. She's got to be there because she's
yeah,
good. She's smart.
yeah. You were great, Sam. What a nice surprise. I'm gonna tell
Thank you.
everybody.
Well, good to see you. Say hi to your kids for me.
I'm gonna tell my kids. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Okay, everybody.
All right. See ya.
Alrighty.
All right,
Have a
bye.
great night. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Bye.